Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 Remax agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes, to renting versus selling, and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995. Studio A.
Hi, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Every week we get together and we talk about ways that we can help you to make money, whether it be in real estate or some other kind of avenue when you're in business. So today what I thought would be really good is to talk about how I can save you money when you're going on a trip, or how I can save you money when it comes down to insurance. And a lot of times people really don't know which way to go, who to call, and how all of this works. There's things about insurance that I didn't even know that I found out about, so I wanted to share that with you. So today we have a special guest. We have Steeve Wind with A&B Insurance and Financial. Welcome, Steve. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Laura.
So we pulled him off vacation early to come back to the rain. So, Steve, there was a couple of things that you had mentioned in the past about insurance, and which I thought was interesting, that your company does trip insurance.
Yes.
And you do health insurance.
Yes.
Found that was like a weird, you know.
Well, health insurance is our main business, but as a value-added ancillary product, we offer foreign travel insurance to our clients. The reason for that is because most individual health insurance or group policies, or even Medicare policies, don't have really good coverage outside the country. You have some of them have like some benefits out of network, but they're really either high deductibles, high out of pockets, and that's not good for the average person. So what the travel insurance does is it allows the person to go overseas, get better coverage for really just a couple dollars a day.
Okay, but does that also cover if you have to cancel your trip before going on a trip?
Those policies that are purchased through, like an Allianz, for instance, that have that trip cancellation, generally have a small benefit as far as medical is concerned. So while mine does have some, a portion of the trip cancellation in it, the main reason for it is for the medical purpose.
Okay. So if you were to get sick prior to going on vacation, would your policy cover that?
Yes, it would still cover that.
Okay, and would it be like full coverage of it?
It depends on the policy. I have a couple different ones.
So let's just say I was going to Ireland for my honeymoon, right? Mm-hmm. By the way, I never got a honeymoon, just letting you know that in case you're listening. So I'm still waiting. So let's say I'm going to Ireland and the trip costs about $5,000 for the couple to go. Mm-hmm. How would that work?
Well, the cancellation portion, you would have, that would be stated prior to, the application, how much that is.
Okay.
And then you'd have, if it was canceled, then you would get a portion of that. I think it's 90% or something like that. I'm not 100% sure that.
So you'd lose about $500 plus whatever the cost of the policy is.
Right, correct.
So on average, I know it's not specific, but kind of an idea, like how do they determine the cost of this?
Well, it's what is submitted as far as the receipts that someone would have. They would say, okay, my trip cost this amount of money.
Right.
They know what it's going to cost as far as airfare and maybe potential hotel reservations that are already made.
So, but what would something for that policy cost the traveler?
The trip cancellation portion of it is for those policies a little higher.
Okay.
But just like a straight medical policy that has a portion of the cancellation, which is really what I focus on with my clients, because we are a health insurance agency, so we look to do more of a medical portion of it, because that's what is really the biggest expense.
Okay.
If, God forbid you got sick overseas and ended up in the hospital or something of that nature, that's where the expense is going to be. So we really focus more on that than the actual trip cancellation part of it. Okay, so a policy like that would run somewhere in the $5 to $7 per day per person for the trip.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's very reasonable.
It's
very
really
affordable.
reasonable. So let's say, for instance, I get COVID while I'm in Ireland, and now I can't travel back, and I have to stay there for 2 weeks. And obviously, they're not going to keep me in the hospital, but I can't travel. Would that cover like trip change, like the plane change?
Yes.
And an additional hotel stay to stay in a hotel
Correct.
while
It covers that extended stay due to COVID. It covers. God forbid someone from your family needed to come to stay with you. It covers that.
See, these are things like I think that people should. I did, like, even though I've known you for a really long time, I know you do this. Like, I really never knew what this entails, and to me, like, this is something that helps for, like you're talking about. You go for 7 days, 7 times. It's like that's like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like $100 for 2 people to like be protected.
And it's funny that we're talking about this particular topic today because I actually sold travel policies today, family of 5, husband and wife going, 3 sons going, and all going at different times for different lengths of time, and just got those policies today, and then I quoted another couple that was going. So people are understanding the importance of travel insurance and making that purchase.
That's crazy. That's awesome. I think this is something that you really should be listening to what Steve's telling you, and we're going to make sure that you get his number before the end of the show. So stay tuned in so you can get that information, because I think it's great. You can also reach out to me, and I'll get you Steve's information. But that's great. So we're going to segue, though, into insurance. So before we do that, let's go ahead and take a commercial break, and then we can come back and we can just go on about insurance and not be interrupted with a commercial. But I think insurance is definitely super important. So we'll be right back.
Sounds great.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At Title Brothers LLC, our mission is to give you the best closing experience anywhere in the country. Founded in 2020 by Adam Lohman and Josh Wiseman, here at Title Brothers, we're your one-stop shop for residential real estate, title insurance, title and escrow services, real estate closing, and due diligence services. While primarily located in South Florida, we also host dozens of closings throughout the state and even electronically as requested. To contact the Title Brothers, call us at 954-995-4988 or visit our website and get a quick quote today.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at thelauracell.com. And now back to the show.
Hi, welcome back to Making Money with Laura Sanders. I am your host, Laura Sanders. It was great to see that we had our sponsors, Max Fish with Nationwide Mortgage, and we had Title Brothers, which is another great company. If you're thinking about becoming a sponsor, definitely give me a call, and I would love to make you one of our sponsors so we can get you more business too. Welcome back, Steve. So we just were talking about travel insurance, which I think is great, so definitely something that people should keep in mind. But health insurance. So there was a tax penalty until recently for not having health insurance. Like, you were required by law, if your employer didn't provide it to you, you had to buy it. And I think that probably caused a lot of financial hardship.
Well, I think there was, that was definitely something that was in the Affordable Care Act when it was first written. It was removed by the previous administration, so I think that was a good thing that they did remove it. That's one of the things that I did not like about the Affordable Care Act. For the most part, it has been, I think, pretty successful. There are still people that are uninsured, don't understand why they don't carry insurance. It is pretty affordable now, especially people who are on, the lower side of the income stream.
Why don't you give us a little bit better insight on that?
Sure. Well,
Pretend like you're talking to Mr. X who
Sure.
knows nothing. Remember that from junior high? It was like, talk to Mr. X and pretend Mr. X knows nothing.
Pretend you're in kindergarten, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the basis of the Affordable Care Act was to make sure that people who are on the lower side of the income stream, anywhere between under 400% of the federal poverty level, were able to get affordable insurance. So what the government did was they tied the health insurance into income. So based on age, location, family size, and income, there's a formula that determines a tax credit or monthly subsidy that basically reduces the cost of the monthly premium for you. So if you have a family of 4 and you're making under $200,000, you're eligible for a tax credit.
Okay.
The figure that they use is adjusted gross income, which if you look at your 1040 return is line 11 on your tax return.
Okay.
That's your adjusted gross income. So that's the number they use to determine subsidy eligibility. So what that does is it takes the cost of the insurance and reduces it by that monthly tax credit and makes it more affordable. Also, the plans have gotten a lot better too. So if you even if you have a bronze plan, and the way that the segments of the Affordable Care Act are, they're segmented by what they call metal level: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. As you go from bronze to silver, silver to gold, gold to platinum, the benefits get better. Of course, the premium goes a little higher too. But even though the entry level bronze plans have no deductible, have reasonable co-pays and so forth. So
you wouldn't call that to be like. Sometimes I looked at insurance, especially during the Affordable Care Act. I looked at it more of like having something when you make too much money, right? Is more like an emergency policy, like if you only go to the hospital because you're having a heart attack or something,
something catastrophic.
Right, like a catastrophic event. So you wouldn't want to go for a cold to, you'd want to be self-pay, because a lot of times those catastrophic policies have like high deductibles, if any. Like, so you have to hit like $20,000 in doctor's visits and then they'll pay. Now, for me, and I had a doctor tell me, I don't believe that that's true, and I'm telling you factually this is true. If I go to the doctor with one of these policies and I say, I'm going to be self-pay, they'll go, okay, we're going to charge you $250. If I give them my insurance policy, my insurance card, they come back and they bill me $500, $750 because I have to pay, because I have that deductible. And the doctor's telling me, no, you shouldn't be paying any more than you would pay out of pocket. I'm like, I'm telling you, I get sent a bill for $750. But if I say I'm self-pay, I'm paying $250. I can never really understand insurance. Like, to me, it's a little frustrating.
Well, I mean, that's just a regular office visit is not going to be $750. But I mean, if you're doing a battery test or something like that, then
no, specialty doctor, like I've gotten bills for $750 because it's almost like when they're billing the insurance, they're just, I don't know, it's weird. Like it's if they bill more for insurance than if you were just out of pocket.
Well, one thing the Affordable Care Act did was, you talked about before, $20,000 out of pocket. That's not the case anymore. What the Affordable Care Act did was limit the maximum out of pocket in any plan. For any calendar year.
And what does that look like?
Right now, it's at $9,100.
Okay.
So that's the most that a plan could have as far as a maximum out of pocket. Of course, those are in-network charges. If you go out of network, that's different. But for an in-network plan, $9,100 is the highest that you could spend. And that's medication, that's medical testing, doctor visits, inpatient, outpatient, hospital. Things of that nature.
All right, that's good.
That's the max. So if you have a high deductible plan, let's say even like an HSA plan, which is tax savings plan for the member, I think those as far as with Florida Blue, with what I sell, $6,850 is the max deductible and out of pocket for one of those plans.
So if you were going to tell people today, like what would be like the biggest take home from today, right? That would help them to maneuver the whole medical insurance puzzle, right?
Right.
Because you're solving the A and B insurance, solving the
Solving the insurance puzzle
for you, right? So what would be like the biggest thing if you could say to somebody that I want to tell you to take away from, like, what they should be doing when it comes down to getting insurance?
Well, besides calling me,
Right.
who has 19 years experience doing this, so
Right.
I was there before the Affordable Care Act. I know, I'm very well versed in things that the Affordable Care Act can do for someone. The biggest thing is to realize that no matter what your situation, you always want to find out if you are subsidy eligible, because what the current administration did when they came in and passed the American Rescue Act was they increased the threshold for subsidies. So it used to be at 400% of the federal poverty level was the highest you could be to get a subsidy. That's not the case anymore.
And what is the poverty?
800,000 now. The threshold is 800,000, 800%. So
Really?
it's very high. So like I said.
Okay, guys, you really have to. It doesn't cost any money to call him, to ask him. Like, to me, like, it's funny. Like, I referred you to a hairdresser, and it's like, if the hairdresser likes you, you're good. Because if everybody's calling you after, you've done a good job.
Yes.
So we have a mutual friend, and I remember, and this always sticks in my head, that like he was like, he got me insurance for like 50 cents a month. I'm like, what? So could you tell me a little more about like how that worked out?
Sure.
Without being too,
right. Well, I mean, like I said, it all comes down to the subsidy eligibility of the client. So if this particular person you talk about had a family of 5, their adjusted gross income was within what I call under the 200% level. So not only did they get a very low premium, okay, but they also got the benefits were subsidized as well as the premium being subsidized. So anyone who has a adjusted gross income of less than 200% of the federal poverty level not only gets the subsidized premium, but subsidized benefits as well. So whereas I said before the maximum out of pocket on these bronze plans was $9,100, on a silver plan that has a benefit subsidy, you're looking at like $3,000 as a maximum out of pocket.
Now, is that for each individual person on the policy or the whole family?
With Florida Blue, it's ×2 for the family. So if a family of 3 or 4, everyone's sharing 2 out of pockets.
Oh, okay. That's so I think that it's hard to really understand how the whole thing works, and it's good to know because I think a lot of people call 800 numbers and they don't know who to call. And so like you're like a very direct, it's your cell phone calling you, talking to you or emailing you, and they get to talk to a person that can meet with them in person, sit down with them, kind of go over, because even now we could talk about I always want Medicaid. Care. I always get that wrong, but I know the difference. So you help people with that as well, and that's something that's that whole Part D part. Like,
right. So
that
I've
gets
been,
confusing.
Again, someone with the experience that I have, because I've been doing this for 19 years. I work with a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I know that either are on group policies or have purchased insurance before I knew them, transition to Medicare. So that's something that I have been doing for a long time. So my clients that are 63 or 64, they're constantly getting information from me so that when they are ready to turn 65, they know exactly what to do. They know exactly what plans are available to them. They know exactly how I'm going to help them, and we move forward that way.
And does it always make sense for somebody to go to that versus private? Is that something that's...
If they're on an Affordable Care Act plan, they have to change off of that. They can't stay on a subsidized ACA plan and have Medicare, because that's technically 2 subsidies, which you can't
And that's why you always get asked that question, do you have any additional insurance, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I always see that, and I'm like, okay.
Well, one of the questions on the application is, are you currently receiving Medicare A or B benefits? If you're eligible for them, you can't get it. You can't have an Affordable Care Act plan.
And I would love to learn more about A or B benefits because I think that stuff is so confusing. But for me, that's definitely something that I think is confusing for a lot of people. And I think I sit there and I go, well, first, I don't want to become 65, but that's besides. I mean, I want to live. I just don't want to be 65. But when it happens, it's like now you got to teach me the difference, right?
Just think of how much less your insurance is going to cost you.
I can wait. I can wait. What got you into this industry?
I was when I came down to Florida. I had a couple different sales positions. I've always been in sales,
Right.
and I had a friend who was running the agency that I'm with right now, and he said, "Hey, we need more people. Come take your test and come work with me." And that's what I did.
Okay, and obviously you're doing well at it.
It was,
so.
like I said, 19 years, so it's been a long time. I've been with the same agency, selling Florida Blue insurance, and
So what's the difference between calling an 800 number and calling you?
Well, obviously, you don't know who you're going to get on the other end of the 800 number. They may even be in Florida, so it's obviously important to know that you're getting someone who is local, knows the plans, knows the networks that are available on the plans, and is able to guide you step by step through the period, and also be able to do follow-up and
And you want to keep them as a customer because
and have customer
a little
service,
more personal service.
have customer service because I've got plenty of clients. A lot of my business is built on referrals, obviously. So what my clients know is that if they come to me with an issue, I'm going to get that issue taken care of.
Yeah, I heard you called somebody on a Sunday and you had gotten it while they were out of the country. You had taken care of something for them. So I think that speaks volumes about your service.
Right.
So
I have clients that they email me. They said, "I've been trying to get this done with Florida Blue for weeks now, and I can't get anyone." I say, "Give it to me." I had a client did that. 3 days later, they had their issues straightened out.
That's amazing.
That they were trying to do something for 3 weeks with Florida Blue.
So what would be a good way for people to contact you in order to get more information on insurance?
My cell number is a great way to reach me, 954-494-0526. Direct line. It's in my pocket right now.
Okay.
Always on, and that's a great way to reach me.
And what about an email or a website for them directly for you?
SteveWind.com is my website.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, it sure is.
And it's spelled S-T-E-V-E.
SteveWind.com.
Okay.
That's my website, and you can see pictures of me and my family there. And
Oh, really?
you have links to all the different products that I do sell. Not only travels insurance, short-term medical plans, accident protection, critical illness policies,
So he can
life
come to your
insurance,
office,
everything.
he can do a presentation, because I know that people that are brokers are listening, but I personally have used Steve. I think he's great. That's why I wanted to have him on here today. I think he can really help guys to save money. So if you're thinking about, getting insurance, which everybody should have some kind of a plan just in case, definitely give Steve a call. We're really grateful that you came today. Again, if you're thinking about being a sponsor for the Laura Sanders Making Money with Laura Sanders, I would love to hear from you so that you can make more money too. So thanks for tuning in. And if you need a realtor, I'm right here for you.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to seeing you next week.